Hi there, and welcome to another Condemned video guide. Condemned is a hardcore, Republic, team-based PvE and PvP guild on the Port Nowhere server. My name is Six, and I'll be your host, and in this video, we'll show you the strategy to take down the normal mode version of the first boss of the Eternity Vault operation, Annihilation Droid XRR3. XRR3 is a large robot that will emerge from the entrance to the Eternity Vault immediately after the turrets guarding it have been downed, hence why it is important to move out as soon as you have done so. For this fight, we recommend a raid composition of 1 tank, 2 healers, and 5 DPS for the 8-man version, and exactly double that for the 16-man. XRR3 is rooted throughout the duration of the fight. As such, he will need to be tanked where he stands. The tank should face him so that his back is turned towards the doors of the EV. Because of what we have termed his lock-on ability, it is important that the raid stays spread out. We recommend melee arrange themselves in a semicircle around his back, as shown here. At a further distance back, range should set themselves up in a similar manner, forming 2 semicircles to the left and the right of him, just in front of the pillars located to either side. Raid healers will need to intersperse themselves evenly within the circle to ensure proximity to tank, melee, and ranged players alike. Lock-on is an instant cast ability that XRR3 will do roughly every 15 seconds. With it, he will target a random member of the raid with a large red targeting reticule positioned on their body. The targeted individual will then have 5 seconds to move out from the raid. Otherwise, they will deal AoE damage to and knock back and down anyone within a 5-meter radius of them. Lock-on does moderate damage, about 20 to 30% of one's health bar and starter gear, and thus healers should watch out for players who call lock-on and top their health off accordingly. XRR3 also has a mechanic that melee in particular will need to watch out for. About every 30 seconds, he will cast his Shockwave ability, which takes 1 second to cast and cannot be interrupted. XRR3 will slam players within about 10 meters of him and stun them temporarily. Soon after casting Shockwave, he will typically cast Overwhelming Swipe. When he casts this, XRR3 will make a sweeping motion in an arc around him and knock back any player standing in front of him, as demonstrated here. As long as melee members stay at his back, they will be able to avoid this ability. For tanks, it is important to note that in the 16-man version of this fight, Overwhelming Swipe, in addition to knocking back the tank, will cause him to drop aggro. As such, a second tank will be needed to pick XRR3 up whenever the first tank is knocked back, until he or she can regain aggro on the boss. XRR3's next major mechanic is Missile Salvo. When XRR3 enters this phase of the fight, he will crouch low to the ground and fire rockets at the entirety of the raid for 20 seconds. There is no point in attempting to interrupt this ability, as he will continuously recast it until the phase has completed. XRR3 will deal heavy damage to the raid at this point, but the raid can deal with this ability using one of 2 strategies.